it's Chuck Kent for Branding Magazine and our What the Leading Brand Thinkers Really Think series. I'm here today in Palo Alto at the headquarters of the 3% movement, speaking with its founder, Kat Gordon. Kat, welcome.
Thanks.
Could you give us a little description of the why behind the 3% movement?
So our purpose is that we believe in creativity above everything, and there's a direct correlation between diversity and creativity that just was not being honored in most ad agency settings, and that was frustrating to me. There wasn't a good representation of people making the ideas that are supposed to move the consumer market.
So we have the why. Can you move on to the what? What are you doing? Where did you start? Where are you now? In your best 30-second elevator speech.
So started in 2012 with a one-day conference in San Francisco to build community and awareness around the issue, and then exploded into traveling events. So we've been to every major U.S. city. We've been to Toronto and London, and then we just began doing certification and consulting, where we go into agencies and actually certify them around how inclusive their environments are. So helping agencies get a grip on what are they doing right, what are they doing enough of or not enough of to create truly inclusive environments where creativity can flourish.
What have you been doing to really try to break through to people with these conferences?
We're very organized around what we call microactions. We have a document on our website called 100 Things. And these are 100 doable doses that within any corporate environment, quite frankly, not even ad agency environment, can be implemented to create more inclusive cultures. So our conference is not just inspirational keynotes, although it is that. It is not just panels about professional development, although it is that. A lot of it is about what these microactions look like in action and how change begets change. So people sharing from the front lines what they're doing inside their agencies to create change. So we're very optimistic and kind of metric oriented, even our name. You know, the origin is 3% of creative directors were women. That's a very measurable metric that you can get better on. We're up to 11.5%. So we're really about giving agencies and companies a roadmap. So they don't just leave fired up but don't know then what to do next. They know exactly what to do next.
How are you really pitching the benefits of the 3% movement to the industry?
Well, what's great is I don't really feel I need to any longer. In the beginning, I really did have to explain, there's actually a correlation between representation and creativity, and that translates to profitability. But there's so much research now about how diverse boards outperform companies with less diverse boards. Companies, I just read a stat that if you go from 0% women on a board to 30% women on a board, your profitability goes up 15%. Like, who wouldn't want that? And so actually, I don't believe I ever approached this as a fairness issue, ever. And it was never because I'm a female and I don't like being one of such a small group of females. I just thought this is lunacy. I know what creativity in action looks like, and it does not look like a bunch of people that look like you and me sitting around. It looks like the people of America sitting around coming up with ideas. That's where really, really amazing breakthrough thinking happens. So I was always motivated by ideas. You know, the bigger the ideas, the more nuanced, the more dimensional. And I still am. And so it's not just about women. It's about representation of every kind.
So you've gone from being the 3% conference to the 3% movement now. Can you just describe what that expansion is really, both in terms of, I believe you're getting beyond just gender equality and other forms of diversity and to more than just conferences? Can you speak to the broad vision of what's from here forward for the 3% movement?
Yeah, so we started as a conference because what was really lacking around this issue was community. And so we started building that community city by city and building awareness. And there was a clear and resounding yes in response to that. And then we got to the point maybe about 3.5 years in where whenever I would meet agencies, and I sit down with a lot of agencies, they'd invite me in. They were all asking the same questions, which are, how are we doing? How are we doing compared to our competitors? Where should we be aiming for? And no one was providing those answers. And so it wasn't like my master plan to start this movement. It was, oh, I get it. Like, the community is birthed, the awareness is there, the willingness to do self-introspection is there, and now we need to move into accountability, activism, activation, I should call it. And so my team and I did some proprietary research about what makes women in creative cultures loyal, and found that they had a different list of things, wishes, than even other women in advertising and other departments. And so we created an algorithm and a set of things we would assess agencies on. And we did a benchmarking study where we looked at where are the watermarks and where do we think a truly progressive, inclusive culture would sit on those metrics. And so this summer, 2017, we are having the first series of agencies go through that assessment process, and in the aims of becoming 3% certified. And so the name, the 3% movement, was very purposeful. It was to say, hey, we are not just events. We are change agents around cultures. And you're absolutely right when, the whole genesis of 3% was based on my experience in my industry as a female creative. But it's kind of a case study around what happens to creativity in situations where there's an underrepresentation of any group. I mean, homogeneity is the enemy of creativity. And so if you look at any company in America or anywhere globally, innovation is somehow at the core of every company, no matter what it makes or produces or ships. And so this kind of inclusive culture filter is relevant really to every company that wants to own the future.